Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our studies of Second Kings. Today we're in Second Kings chapter 16. As we come into chapter 16, Judah has had four consecutive good kings. And while they've not been perfect, as a matter of fact, there have been many bumps in the road with those four kings, they have been kings that have been good and that have kept things moving in the area of service to God. They have kept things being done the right way in service to God. And they have been kings that have been willing to listen to God. But then you come to Ahaz. And Ahaz is going to break that mold. And he is instead going to be one who is described as following after the kings of Israel. So let's look at a few things when it comes to King Ahaz. First and foremost, early on in the chapter, when you read about Ahaz, in his initial description, you read that Ahaz is one who is willing to put his children through the fires. Now, this particular phrase, as it's utilized in the Old Testament, has reference to human sacrifice. This was the kind of offering that would be utilized to various of the idolatrous gods of the Canaanites, whereby a child would be sacrificed as a human sacrifice to this particular god and would be killed in that human sacrifice. So Ahaz here is described as one who was willing to kill his own child in order to give him as a sacrifice to this idolatrous god. And this was always something under the law of Moses where God abhorred it and made it very clear that this was not acceptable practices. And yet, it is going to be something that Ahaz is going to follow after. We also see in chapter 16 that Ahaz is going to face a great deal of difficulty and conflict from those around him, and specifically in chapter 16 from the kings of Syria and Israel, that they are going to come down against him. And they are going to be too strong for him, militarily speaking. And so Ahaz is going to go to Assyria. Now, Assyria is the kingdom on the north side of the kingdom of Syria. And they are going to be the ones who are going to become the major power in the region during this time. And so Tiglath-Pileser, who is the king of Assyria at this time, is going to come all the way down, and he's going to take the city of Damascus, which is the capital of Syria. And it is going to be this somewhat alliance. It's more going to be a bought mission on the part of Ahaz, because Ahaz is going to clean out the treasuries of the temple and of his kingdom in order to be able to purchase the help of the Assyrians. But he is going to go to a people that are well known for their brutality and that are well known for their destructiveness. As a matter of fact, they're going to come all the way to the gates of Jerusalem later on in the days of Ahaz's son, Hezekiah. And so you have a situation where Ahaz is going to go for help, and he's going to go to the strongest kingdom for help, but he's also going to open the door for other footprints in the region that are later going to have their consequences. But then the third thing in chapter 16. As you come down toward the latter half of the chapter, you find beginning in verse 10 that when Ahaz goes to see Tiglath-Pileser in Damascus, he sees this altar, this place of sacrifice that was built there. And he is going to send word to Urijah the priest. And he is going to tell Urijah all about this particular altar. And Urijah is going to build it. Now, you could argue the means or the purposes behind building it, But the fact of the matter is, he is going to build it, and it's going to be placed in the temple. It is going to be utilized, and it's going to remove pieces of the furniture that God ordained in order to put what Ahaz wants to be there. This is going to be something that is going to be a very uh, dangerous situation from the standpoint of Ahaz's relationship with God. But it's also going to be something that is going to lift up Ahaz. It's going to be a pride factor for Ahaz. He is going to command that this is the altar which is to be used, and this is the thing that is to be utilized upon it, and all of these different offerings are to be used on it, when there was no such authority given for it. You see, Ahaz is going to bring something that he likes in, and he is going to expect God to be okay with what he likes because he likes it. He likes this altar better than the one that God had made, better than the things that God commanded. He wants sacrifices in the way that he wants them. Many people today have the same mentality. They bring in whatever it is they want to bring in because that's what they like, and expect God to say, okay, just because they like it. Elijah the priest is going to go along with this, and there is going to be this new altar in the courtyard of the temple. These are some of the things that I see in 2 Kings chapter 16. I know that there's more things that we could discuss as far as that goes, and more intricacies that we could develop, but I hope that these are beneficial to you. Next time, we will begin looking at 2 Kings chapter 17, and I hope you'll join us then. But until then, have a great day.